What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all from the beautiful, pristine Land Between the Lakes National Recreation Site. Yes, you guys, I am out here in this beautiful acreage, exploring it, just seeing what all it has to offer. Which, by the way, check this out. Here at the Land Between the Lakes National Recreation Site, this is the Great Western Furnace, built in 1854 by Brian Newell and Co. This steam cold blast charcoal furnace was built of limestone from the surrounding hills. Brown iron ore came from the shallow deposits about 2 miles north. Pig iron was shipped by river or hauled to rolling mills to the east. It closed in 1856 due to the lack of ore and to a slave insurrection by the furnace crew. I saw this on my way through Land Between the Lakes, and I have to see it. But I'll tell you all the real reason why I'm out here, and that is because there is the story of a cryptid that haunts these hills, or at least so it is said. Anyway, you guys, we're going to drive through here, and we're going to talk about the story of the Land Between the Lakes, the Dogman of Land Between the Lakes, or if you want to call him, the werewolf. Anyway, guys, let's get to it. This is going to be a rather interesting vlog to make. And before we go any further to talking about the Dogman / werewolf of Land Between the Lakes, let's get back to the furnace. This is a diorama of what it looked like and how it worked. Stewart County iron industry in this area had operated from about 1820 to about 1927. This furnace that we're about to look at, it operated to about 1858. But this goes to show how it works. There we go. This goes to show how it works. Steam pumps powered by a set of bellows and provided the blast air needed for the fire to reach 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt the ore. And from there, go at the bottom, it'd rise and heat to the top, and this is how they would make or smelt this pig iron. This big giant structure right here, this is the old furnace. This thing stands a good, I'm guessing, 3 stories tall. Looks like there's another marker there, kind of revealing a little bit more about its history. The Great Western Furnace, 1854, and of course it has, well, since then closed down, or it's been closed down for several hundred years now. But imagine, sitting at the top of this furnace would be a small building. They would fill it up, and that's how all the heat, the coal and the stuff would go heat everything up. And that's how it would all be done. That is some really cool history right there. And if you look right there, you can see that they have guarded it, or since then put a concrete piece right there to keep people from getting into it. So I guess people have gotten into the furnace before and probably have gotten hurt, or it's just some preventative stuff to keep people from doing it, just to make sure it doesn't happen any further. Dude. Size comparison, you have me. There's that right there. I don't think this really does it much justice. But that is really freaking cool. Oh, so let's get back to the story, shall we? This is really beautiful. By the way, this is called the trace. The Trace is the main road that runs all the way up and down Land Between the Lakes. It's kind of the main thoroughfare, more or less, to my understanding anyway. But before Land Between the Lakes, prior to the dam that created Kentucky Lake was built and dammed up all this area, it was simply known as known as Between the Rivers. In fact, it is not known as Land Between the Lakes until JFK, John F. Kennedy, names it as such in the 1960s. Thus it becomes Land Between the Lakes National Recreation Site. If you talk to a lot of the locals around here, they are not very happy with this decision. A lot of people lost their land as a result of this dam. And to this day, it's still caused a lot of bitterness, a lot of unrest amongst the people. And that's why some people believe that this land is cursed. When this dam was created, it flooded a lot of the towns. It flooded a lot of cemeteries. It destroyed a lot of Shawnee land, the Shawnees of this area, the pioneers of this area. Everybody essentially lost their land. So that's why a lot of people believe why there is so much paranormal activity that goes on here at Land Between the Lakes. It is that fact that TVA took all this land and then they took away the name as well. But that's why some people believe there is a dogman, or a werewolf, if you will, running around in this area. You see, for many, many years, while pioneers and the Indians of this area, while they lived in this spot, many people told of something lurking in the woods. Something that was not human. Now the Shawnee, they believed it was I believe it was a witch who had been cursed and was doomed to roam this land as a werewolf. Some of the hunters, the fur traders, they saw it. And all of this kind of goes on to present times. You have people that do a lot of fishing in the Land Between the Lakes area, and they have spotted this big, giant creature standing on the riverbanks, snarling, roaring, looking back at them. Now there is even some cases of people recording these wolf howls. When wolves in this area, wolves have not been around in this area since the late 1800s. And as well, what if I were to tell you that a family got killed by a werewolf? It was early August in the 1970s. There was a family who had a camper. They were coming down to one of the many camping spots here at Land Between the Lakes. And they were going to have themselves some fun. They get around here about 5, 6 o'clock at night. One of the family members, he's out back shooting at tin cans. The mother and the sister, they're out, or I should say inside the camper. They're getting dinner ready. And the father is off fishing. Now, the next turn of events will surprise you, and it is not for the faint of heart. As stated by a witness, someone who was with the family but was invited on this trip, he saw this big giant creature. It had a short snout, it had long hairy legs, and it had a musty smell about it. Anyway, it goes through, it begins ravaging through the camper. It kills the mother and her daughter. Some sources say the daughter was found in a tree, but by the witness who saw all this, that's not the case. She was found in the camper. Now, from the account that someone got wrong, this was said by the witness who saw all this, it was actually a piece of the beast that was found in the tree. Now this is reported, and this is a story that is told throughout this entire area of the land between the lakes. And there is actually a photo of the beast. Much like this road that we're walking down on right now, imagine it is January or February, it's in the winter, again, early 70s, late 60s. A group of students, there were a bunch of college kids, they were out here, I forgot what the name of the university is, the name of the university is right here. And they go down one of these roads right here, that is at Land Between the Lakes. Now that's one of the cool things about Land Between the Lakes, is as long as you have a permit, you can camp pretty much anywhere out here. But these boys, they're having themselves some fun. Next thing they know, they start hearing noises. And I forgot, I believe one of them went out to get firewood. He comes back saying that he saw this thing. One of the students, they had a camera. He pulls out his camera, clicks a photo before they run off, therefore catching a picture of the beast. Now, sadly, it's kind of hard to find the photo, but this is the one that generally comes up every time you try to find it. But that is said to be the beast. And speaking of the creepy and the paranormal, this is an abandoned house out here at Land Between the Lakes. Now, of course, it says no trespassing. So we're not going to pass this fence. We're going to respect them. But speaking of a paranormal beast, we find something that is very ominous. An abandoned home, probably from one of the families who got evicted from this area when TVA took over and created this area. That is really, really strange. In the comments below, can you all tell me like some history about this house if you know anything? Because I'm not gonna lie, I came in, the moment that I entered Land Between the Lakes, I just got this really weird feeling in my gut. Like this whole time, I feel like something has been watching me, but I don't know what. Maybe talking about the werewolf of Land Between the Lakes has possibly conjured up something unintentionally. In that case, you know, I'm respectful. I don't do anything on purpose. It just weirds me out when you have some people who taunt some of these entities and it comes back to essentially bite them in the butt. That's why I try to be respectful in every way that I can. In the comments below, let me know if y'all are the same way. Just because I don't know, you know, what's out there. And it's always just good to be courteous and be respectful, because you never know what you're dealing with. Yeah, I think I've seen enough here. Let's get back on the road. I don't want to provoke anything. I'm getting out of here. I'm getting the creeps. But as we are walking back to the car, stay safe. Don't provoke anything that might potentially hurt you. And remember, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Always means a lot. Goes to show that y'all care and that y'all want to see more awesome videos. Or seeing me tempting fate. I don't know which one you would want on that. But anyway, I love you all very much. This vlog is over.